Hanan, welcome to BizTalk. That's my great pleasure having you today, my friend. How's it going? Hope everything is fine.
I'm very happy to meet you since the last time we've met in London. We were introduced by the Israeli ambassador. He gave me a really good introduction to you and your great platform. So we know each other for a couple of years, and I'm really proud to see what you achieved with EquityMatch. So it's amazing job. So first of all, congrats.
Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. So let's start talking about yourself, okay? So after we move to the Keepers, which is extremely great startup. I mean, actually, you're not a startup anymore, but it's okay. So what about you?
So first of all, I will introduce myself. I will thank you for the time doing our call. So my name is Hanan Lipskin. I'm a software engineer by profession. And I will tell you the story of why I created Keepers and what it's all about. So when I was a child at the age of 14, I grew up in Jerusalem in Israel, and I was a victim of a suicide attack bomb. Following that, I had to switch schools in the middle of the year, and as you can tell, the trauma from moving between school to school was a little bit challenging, especially for a young kid. And during this time, I was kind of stuck at home, similar to COVID, and I started to do a lot of hacking. We used to hack to different websites, different places. It was not as smart as we could, but this is what happened. And later on, I signed up for the Israeli army. I was in the military unit when we did a lot of monitoring, defensive, and also attack on the cybersecurity area. And this is when I gained all of my cyber skills. And later on, I used to work for Cisco. So this is my personal background, but let's see how it's connected to Keepers again. So when I was at the age of 27, while working for Cisco, I realized that there is a lot of problem on social media. Most of the kids received or sending problematical messages. And once they have those messages, the outcome can be really challenging. A lot of kids even committing suicide because of bullying. And then I said to myself, hey, I have the skills and I know how to detect all of the incoming and outgoing text messages. I know how I can understand if the conversation is offensive or non-offensive. So let's combine it all together, gain the skill set that I gained from the intelligent world of detecting messages in and out. Then I can report it to the parent if it's offensive. So this is how I started my journey at Keepers. And as about the problem, seriously, I can skip forward about the problem because, as you know, most of the suicide attacks or suicide thoughts coming from cyberbullying. And for example, actually a couple of weeks ago in Victoria, in Australia, there was a kid on Discord that was texting to his friend, let's create a suicide package. Then his mother picked it up, and in the middle of the night, she knows his whereabouts due to Keepers, and we were able to save his life. So this is what it's all about, helping parents to become better parents and enabling the children to be online without any problems. So as about the market size, we always say that a father and a mother is a father and a mother everywhere, and the product is really attending all of the segment in our society. So this is about the market size, and actually right now we are marketing and targeting all of the European and Asian countries. Following that, we will go to the US, but first of all, we take Europe, and then we take Manhattan as the song. So when we started at the beginning, we started as a B2C. We've sold our solution to Hutchison in Austria, Vodafone in Italy, Rakuten in Japan. Many different countries use our solution. We have won the European Commission grant. We've won the Israel Innovation Authority grant, which is really hard to accept, and also the Austrian Innovation grant. And all of this because we can understand all of the incoming and outgoing text messages without the child password. So it's important. And then after we generated a lot of output for our customers, we already generated $1.7 million in income this year alone, which is amazing for a startup company who raised in total $5 million. So at the beginning, we started to understand, hey, we have a lot of messages that we have collected. We have a really cool parental control. What we can do is all of this information that we have combined. So the story goes like this. We have created Keepers 2.0. Keepers 2.0 is mainly focusing on the understanding of the text, about the NLP, understanding if the information is racism, bullying, which you can find it on website, you can find it almost anywhere today. So we hired a professional CEO, his name is Aviad. I'm the founder, but I'm a software engineer. I'm not a professional CEO. So we brought a professional CEO to help us enlarge the team. Here you can see the team of keepers. We have on board Christian Kern, who was the ex-chancellor of Austria. We have Dr. Zvi Gerstel, who did an exit with NDS to Cisco for $5 billion. We have Nimrod Kozlovsky, who is doing the privacy also for the biggest companies in Israel, including Google, Facebook, and Spotify for the Israeli branch. So we really build our solution designed by privacy, designed by scale, and designed by NLP and AI. Then once we had it, we started to really working on the capability to understanding emojis and acronyms and different dialects. So this is why we have an unfair advantage if you are going to Europe, because there are many different languages. One of our deployment that we've done, for example, deployment in Rakuten in Japan, which they bought our SDK model, and then it was embedded within their solution. So it was really important. So we know how to sell our solution to B2B companies. And basically, where we are today is with Swisscom and Hutchison and Rakuten and Vodafone, and we have many more clients and customers abroad in the near future, including Bolt, that will work with us together with different operators in the world. So we're working with telephone companies. It's really good for them because it's increased their ARPU, it's increased their engagement and retention, and also increased their PR and the community behind it. And also for cyber insurance company, which they are providing cyberbullying insurance. So if your child is being bullied, then they will reimburse you for the loss of working days and also for the psychology treatment. So this is our business model, mainly B2B. We are rarely doing B2C. The B2C application is always for A/B testing. And actually the growth of Keeper is really extensive. We can see 4x from 19 to 20, and it's gaining and gaining, so it's really important. Right now, what we're looking, we are raising $5 million for the scale up of our team. And actually, before we will finish, I would like to show you a quick demo of our product. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. So here what we can see is the parent side. As I said before, we have two sides of the application. We have the child side, which is the sender, and the parent, which is the listener. So on the parent side, we can see if the child is connected to the internet, their battery level, and the offensive messages on all social media platforms without the child password. So we can see the content, if it's offensive or non-offensive. On the web filtering, we can see if your child browsed to any prohibited website, even if they will use VPN, we can still notify about it, we can see it. We can see their screen time, we can see their whereabouts and create geofencing, which is important. We can create school time. So specific application will be working during school time. We can create downtime. For example, if it's dinner time, then we can block all of the applications and the phone will be, instead of smartphone, will be just a phone. Then you can use it only if you answer the secret code number. And on the web filtering, you can decide which categories would you like to block or not to block. And the most important feature, if the child will try to uninstall Keepers, they will see an uninstall prevention and a picture of an angry cat that will tell them, we try to uninstall, but it will not work for you. So this is about the Keeper application. As we said before, we are selling it as a white label solution and also as an SDK for the telecom companies. Any questions?
That's great. Thank you so much. I mean, you have been improved so much since we met in the first place, which is probably 2 or 3 years ago, more 3 than 2. So you've done a very, very great job. And I mean, I'm very keen to keep kids very safe. So you're doing an extremely helpful job also for the families, right? So what about how did you decide to move? Because you're mostly B2B, which is where your bulk of revenues come. How did you decide to move and why did you decide to move to B2C?
So it was an important question, which we had a lot of discussion about it, whether we are a B2B or a B2C company. And once you're going to a new country, if you're B2B, you're fast forwarding the localization and the understanding of the local culture. You are using the database and the user base of the telecom company in this case. And to be honest, we are not a B2C company. We don't want to have any customer service for B2C. We don't know how to do the marketing, and it's a different kind of application. And also, to be honest, it's really, really, really expensive to be as a B2C company. So what we have started at the beginning, we understand that we have an unfair advantage if we go to the European countries, because our NLP can understand. At the beginning, it was in Hebrew, which nobody speaks Hebrew, only 10 million people in the world. So we had to create the NLP from scratch. And then once we moved to Italy, it was interesting because we used the technology from Hebrew and we implemented it in Italy. And as you know, in Italia, there are different dialects if you are in the southern part or the eastern part or the north or the south. And because we had our own NLP engine, we were able to reach out to the Italian market. And then once we went to the German market, also the Austrian dialects and the German dialects, basically, we have an unfair advantage to go to those markets by ourselves, and the cost is really low. And if you're taking different solutions that are based on Google, and Google is mainly strong in Spanish and English, where we have the unfair advantage. So we decided to be focusing more on that technology and to give the marketing to our vendor, which they know how to do it better than us. So this is why we are a B2B company from the business cycles. It's smarter, it's faster, and also the privacy of our information. We are GDPR compliant, but people are more likely to install a solution which is, powered by Vodafone instead powered by a startup company. So there's a lot of main reason why we are a B2B company.
So let's say you're a B2B company, and sometimes you can be also B2B2C. If someone wants to upload or download your application. When it comes to languages, because you are almost in all Europe now, you are moving outside Israel, Europe, you are moving probably to Asia, and of course, I suppose also States. How do you process language? It's going to be very complicated.
So basically, we have boots on ground. We have local people who can help us train the information. This is why we have opened an office in Vienna, because in Vienna, there is a lot of multicultural and a lot of people who speak many languages. So in Vienna, this is where we're doing the machine learning. And we have people who are native speaker in Italian that help us train the system. Same as for Germany, same as for France, Spanish, Japanese. In Japanese, we took in an awesome place where they have a lot of kids without parents. And it was also good for the society because we provided them work, and it was kind of donation, and they also help us to train the system. So it was really important. So we use a lot of kids from a challenging background. This is give them support. This is give them an opportunity to start working and generate a profit by themselves. And in that case, we also been able to translate our solution to their language as well. So we're working a lot with the community and a lot of boots on ground and people who speak the language. So this is what we are doing.
Great. What's the idea is for the next step? The most challenging thing you are going to face, right? Because you have been growing quite fast. I see to 2.5 million in 2021, and after is almost 3 times more in 2022, which means it requires a big improvement and also a big effort to build up the team, to build up the business model, and it's a different way to go, right? From 2 to 3 times more in 2022. How do you face this, and what do you think is going to be the next step for you to become more successful than you are already today?
So first of all, the challenge is there are many more children around the world that we can help them. So the market is huge and we have more places to grow. This is number one. Number two, we want to have, when you set parental control, you will say keep it. This is our final goal. But to be honest, besides keepers, the NLP engine allows us to go to different segments. For example, in Japan, there is a lot of older people community, which if they are not opening the smartphone or opening the refrigerator, they are not getting any pings. So people need to check how they feel about it. So we know how to help them. There is also from the NLP side, we can understand if somebody posted a negative feedback on the website, which can be a little bit toxic, so we can stop it before and then make the internet a place which is a little bit more clean. less toxicity in the internet. So there's a lot of places to grow outside of the parental control unit. So to the NLP side, and also from the understanding of the mobile devices, because in the end of the day, our technology, we can detect messages on WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, what have you. And even more than that, on a specific device when Keepers is installed, we have more information than Facebook and Google combined, because we have information about which website they are browsing, which application they're using, how much time they're using, what do they think about it, where are they located. No, there is a lot of information, and as long as it's anonymized, it's worth a lot of money.
In your mind, when it comes to revenue stream, do you think you're going to use this data to create new revenues, or for now, no?
First of all, for now, no. But if we will use this data, we'll use this data to generate revenue, and this will help us to generate Keepers for free for all people. So if you would like us to collect data and then we can use it for marketing purposes, that's fine. You will not pay for Keepers. If you don't want us to collect the data, that's okay. We can pay a subscription fee. We will not collect the data. It's up to you. You can decide what we are doing. It's up to the user.
You're touching an extremely sensible topic, which means kids, family. When it comes to data privacy, which is, especially in Europe, is a huge concern, right? From the European Commission, everyone in Europe is so keen to protect data. How do you feel this for your business?
So first of all, we are GDPR compliant. We are backed up for the European Commission Horizon 2020. Privacy is really important for us. If we were not audited by the regulation, we will not be able to work with Hutchison and Vodafone and all of the big players. So it's really important for us. That being said, we are really designed by privacy. The information is anonymized. You cannot never understand what everybody is thinking about a specific child. So there is a distance between the information and the person. So it's really important for us. And, at the end of the day, what we are doing is something good. We are doing something good to protect kids. So this is the most important stuff that we need to remember.
Your biggest market now is Europe? Japan is the biggest.
Japan currently is the biggest market. Just because of what happened, I know there is a lot of.
An idea is connected to for example, the culture of the people. I think the culture plays a big role in your business.
The culture in Japan is unique compared to the European culture. There are more early adapters, specifically because we are going with a telecom company over there. That's being said, the European market is really important for us. And in our roadmap is, first of all, we will establish our strong, we want to be stable in Europe and only then go to the US. So it's step by step.
Okay, when you establish Keepers?
Actually, it was my final project at the university. It was in 2017. Actually, I won the World Cup University in Copenhagen for Keepers. Was my final project. This is how I received my software engineer diploma. It was started as a side project. Then it became massive during the time.
So how many people are working with you now? How many altogether?
35 employees in Vienna, Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and also in the West Bank. Because it's really important for me to have also employees from the West Bank. If you want to create the world a better place, you can talk about it or you can do it. And we prefer to walk the talk. So it's important for us to have a true diversity company. And it's so beautiful to see the combine between the Israeli team and the Palestinian team working together, becoming friends. By the weekends, they are playing video games together online. After work, everybody's shooting each other online, so it's good.
I mean, they can do online. It's fine.
Yeah. So I received this as a gift from one of the employees in Ramallah. This is a religious masbacha from the Muslim, which is interesting. And we have also a tefillin, which is from the Jewish people. I need to show it to you. See? So we have, and the most important, I have a picture. Let me show you of Elvis. So you have Elvis, you have Jewish tefillin, and you have a Muslim masbacha. What else can you ask?
That's for me. That was my question, because I try to ask to everyone, and not every business can be very impact, but I do believe everyone should do something, right? So whatever it is, the environment, social, government, and you're doing extremely well, because I do believe we should put together people and not divide them. So it's absolutely great what you're doing. I mean, in terms of fundraising, you are raising now 5 million, okay? And for exactly doing what?
First of all, for the expansion of our solution, to go to different countries where we have the unfair advantage, as we said before. For example, the European countries, it's really important for us to go to those countries. Mainly grow. It's not about the R&D stage, it's mainly about the growth stage. Sales, operation, and 10x, 20x, double up.
I mean, if you want to give me, let's say, 4 or 5 main KPIs, which are for you the best KPIs to describe keepers, which is not about the revenue.
It's easy. First of all, to reach the milestone of 1 million users. Second of which, to expand our operation in Europe. Third of which, to have our number 8 telecom companies working with us, also generating more profit revenue stream from Keepers API, for the NLP API, and also to establish and to build a roadmap for the US market, which is really important for us, but you need to do it slowly but surely, because we don't want to do it wrong, because you really need to do it step by step, and mainly to be established as the market leader for parental control, because our technology is unique. There is no other company in the world who can do whatever we are doing.
I mean, do you think there is any other kind of adoption for your technology?
Definitely. The capability of understanding the text, not only the text, but the text between a person and a person, or the direct messages, it's really valuable. And because all of the data that we already collected, the training for the system is valuable. Because if you want to train a new NLP system, good luck, you need the data. And guess what? We have the data. So the option is infinity.
Great. I mean, I think we covered almost, I mean, we didn't cover everything because it's not possible. We covered what is, the most useful, let's say, information. But let me close with why, in your opinion, investors should invest in keepers, and if you have any exit planning.
So first of all, for the European investor, it's really interesting to invest in keepers for a couple of reasons. First of all, we have a subsidiary in Vienna. We have a leading investor such as Christian Kern, the ex-chancellor of Austria. We have a strong social impact. We are generating profit. There aren't as many companies already generated almost $2 million in 1 year that are raising $5 million. The numbers are, we don't go crazy with the numbers. The technology is strong. We are a team of an ex-Israeli army, so you know that the technology is in a high level, especially during the last couple of years that there is a lot of unicorns from Israel. And this is related to the next steps, because in our ecosystem, we already generated and have the knowledge how to take the company to the next steps, how to do the IPOs. And once we are generating at least $10 million in income, then we can consider talking about IPOs. And this is exactly where we want to go. So we want to raise $5 million to be able to reach to $10 million in income. And then we have more options on the table. So this is our roadmap.
So your business plan, 10 million should be 2024, right? Even before.
Yeah. And then we can talk about expanding as an IPO and doing something more interesting.
Thank you so much, Aaron. It's always a great pleasure with you, my friend. And hope you will get the 5 million very soon. And I hope see you in London by the end of the year or next year. Or maybe actually I had to come to Israel anyway, because I'm very much planning to come. I can't wait. So I can see you in Israel as well.
You're more than welcome. I'll be on the beach, I can promise that. Thank you so much.
Beach is always welcome.
Great, my
Thank
friend.
you so much, Alan.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.